Hi everyone and welcome to Unit Review. We're your hosts, Jack
and Dan.
Today we're going to be looking at this little, you refer to him as a little pointy finger
Mr.
guy, right?
Pointy Finger,
Mr.
yes.
Pointy Finger,
yeah.
the Plasmancer of the Necron
Because I'm a
army.
child, basically.
Yeah. It's a class little unit. I think he doesn't stand alone too well by himself.
No.
But with a unit, he's pretty solid, to be fair.
He's one of the best characters, I think, in the Codex because of the way he can buff your units.
Good.
He can change your unit from unit's damage output to being like lethal to deadly.
Certainly can. But only a couple of little things. So let's dive straight in then.
Yeah.
Dan, stat block. You want to start off?
Stat block, yeah. He's got standard infantry movement of 5, toughness of 4, a 4-up save, wounds of 4. Wounds of 4? 4 wounds. Wounds of 4.
Wounds of 4.
6 leadership and OC of 1. What you'll notice is missing there is he hasn't got a 4-up inbun. We'll come on to that in a bit. But
yes.
he has a flat 4-up save.
Looking at the stat block, it's not amazing.
It's not what he's about, is it?
Exactly. It's not what you're bringing him for.
Yeah.
Let's get more into it.
Yes.
So the unit composition. So he is a 1 model. He is equipped with the Plasmic Lance. He only costs 65 points, which is pretty good. Pretty good. And he can lead the Immortals and the Necron Warriors. It's worth mentioning as well, this is a cryptek, so you can actually technically bring in a Royal Warden or a Noble unit in the same unit this unit's inside of.
Yeah, and actually that's in the discussions that we've had with some of the Necron community, they are making the most of that opportunity, and we'll come on to that in a bit.
Definitely.
But he's what that means is he's super flexible. Gives you a lot of flexibility in how he will fit your play style at almost whichever way you play Necrons, I think.
Legitimately, yeah. Keywords, Dan.
Yeah, obviously he's got Necrons in the cryptek, he's got Plasmancer, he's got infantry, and he's got a character. So all just exactly what you'd expect.
Standard stuff there for that one there, yeah. And even weapon side of things, not that amazing, let's be honest. But he is, again, equipped with the Plasmic Lance, where range capability is 18 inches, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 7, -3, and 2 damage. So, to be fair, actually reading it out loud now, it's actually not too bad.
It's all right.
It's all right. And obviously its melee profile is the exact same.
Yeah.
It is 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 7, -3, and 2 AP. Not
2
bad.
damage, he's great.
Damage, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of extra punch if he ends up in combat, but we'll come on to this. You don't really want him in combat, do you?
True,
exactly. That's not what he's all about.
It's not what he's bringing him for, but I think this is why we are bringing him for, Dan. You want to get off on the abilities.
He's stacked with some decent abilities here. We'll start with Harbinger of Destruction. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, a successful hit roll of 5+ scores a critical hit.
Very nice.
That's the key one here. Beyond that, and this I love this as well, he's got Living Lightning. In your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of and visible to this model and roll 4d6. For each 4+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So anyone within 18, 4-ups, mortal wounds. Really good chip damage.
Not bad at all. It's like, again, that's a little pointy finger he's got, like,
pointy finger.
I'm gonna get you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The Harbinger of Destruction, that is what you bring in this unit for. The 5-up on criticals. Most of Necrons out there across the, with the Necron Warriors and Immortals, they've either got sustained or lethal.
Yes.
So that's
you're getting some benefit, whichever loadout of either of you running of those. Yeah,
exactly. We'll get more into those two on how we play them later on. But starting off with stratagems, then. So the first one we've got is the Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant. So this is in your Awakened Dynasty. It is a battle tactic. It is you basically do this in your shooting phase. You select one Necrons unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a unit within half range, you reroll the hit roll of 1. If the Necron's character is leading your unit until the end of the phase, you can reroll the hit roll instead. Pretty good.
It's juicy.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
The reason why this one's good for is that if you are not bringing the Hyper-Equipped Legion, this makes up for
the lack of rerolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you want those rerolls to get those lethals. So
fish for them lethals. Yeah.
You've got to.
Yeah, fish for the crits. Yeah.
And then jumping on to the next one, the Protocol of the Eternal Revenant. I'm pronouncing that one right. So this one's in the Awakened Dynasty. It is in any phase. You select one Necron's infantry character from your army that has just been destroyed, you can use this stratagem. The effect is until the end of the phase, you select this model back on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range. I think it's worth mentioning at that point, I read that as, let's say you've been surrounded by, in melee, and then that guy gets taken out. Well, it doesn't say that he gets destroyed. He just says he has to come back as close as possible outside of engagement. So in my eyes, you move him like X amount of distance away. Is that right? From what I know of.
If you're surrounded, he has to come back out of engagement range. And it's the Chumbawamba strat. He gets knocked down. He comes back up again. I think it's half wounds, isn't it?
Yes.
So he comes like 2 wounds, but that's still pretty good. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Is it has to be at least an inch away from enemy models.
The reason why I bring this up for, because in 9th, it used to be that if he couldn't come back where he was destroyed and not within engagement range, I think it's like 3 inches or something like that, he was destroyed. But in this edition, they've improved the stratagem quite a lot.
Yes.
To be able to bring it back.
It was much better. And both of those are in the Awakened Dynasty.
Yes.
And obviously we talk about fishing for crits there, but alongside that, he gives them +1 to hit, doesn't he, in the Awakened Dynasty, because he's leading a unit.
Exactly.
So there's some good synergies there. Good. That moves us on then to how best to play the unit.
Yes. Good couple of ways. And obviously, again, thank you so much for everyone at home who's basically commented on here. I think we all have the same idea and everyone was pretty much saying the same thing. But the big difference was there was a big divide on which unit to lead.
Yeah.
And there didn't seem to be a one that really outweighed the other, if I'm honest.
Yes, there was. You either taking him with 20 warriors, or some people are running him with 5 immortals, but usually with 10, because whenever you take a character, you want to give the buff to the maximum unit size, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, let's start with Hypercrypt Legion then. So there's which is a common way to run him, as you were just touched on before. So you can give him the Risen Tyrant to give full rerolls when every time they've come onto the table, isn't it? Which you're obviously going to be doing that a lot.
Hypercrypt them off, end of the turn, you bring them back in from reserves, and then since they've been deployed this turn, they're going to get full rerolls, which is really good. Really good. I like tying that one with the Royal Warden, because the Royal Warden allows them, if you basically bring them out from reserves, get the rerolls, and your plan is to basically take out an entire unit. And let's say you don't take out that entire unit, and that unit in their turn charges you and ties you up. I like the Royal Warden to basically get back out of that to basically then shoot as much as possible, because you bring in this unit to shoot, you don't want them tied up, and since it's a Royal Warden, you can equip the Royal Warden and the Plasmancer in the same squad, so that works really well. And
he's the Royal Warden. We've just done a video on him recently, go and check it out, but he's only 40 points at the time of recording, which is it's a bargain for the ability, particularly if you're taking him the 20 warriors, spend an extra 40 points to make sure you can shoot those warriors every turn is really good value, isn't it?
It really is. So again, if you bring the warriors, your lethals on 5s, full rerolls, you're fishing for them 5s. People like to tie in the Illumino Cerberus. I think
Illumino Cerberus, yes.
Yeah, to basically again, you keep deep strike him, or not deep strike him, you hypercrypt him out alongside this unit, and then bring them in, because he gives you -1 extra AP. So if you bring the Gauss Reapers that are already -1, this is now going to -2.
Yeah.
So
lethals on 5s -2. That's good.
Really good. And full rerolls.
And it's also -1 AP to incoming damage, isn't it?
Exactly. So it gives that extra damage. And Lubino has the lone operative within 3 inches as well.
Yeah, if he's close to an infantry unit, yes, he can't be targeted.
Exactly.
It's a nice little combo, that.
And again, since you're bringing the Plasmancer, 65 points, Royal Warden, 40 points, typically when you see a few HQs and units, you think that must be pricey. Still relatively cheap, so I think we're still looking about the 300 point mark. If you bring a Lubino, you do whack it up about 400 points. But for a unit to be kind of jumping around the board constantly and providing excellent firepower, sometimes it's worth it.
I think so. I think that's the thing is a lot of Necron tactics work this way, is you've got to decide what represents return on investment for points, and what represents an over-investment or sunk cost fallacy or whatever. And it depends on your play style, doesn't it?
It's very true.
If you prefer more MSU style, put a Plasmancer with 10 immortals, and maybe just don't even bother with a Royal Warden, because they're almost like fire and forget. You're going to drop them down, they're going to hurt something, and then they're going to get taken out.
Exactly.
If you're leaning into Necron resilience, then maybe it's more 20 warriors, or even if you take 10 immortals, you want that Royal Warden as well, just to help you keep them going.
Yeah, because I think
them shooting.
20 warriors is 200 points. I think 10 immortals is like what, 170,
Yeah, it's nearly the
60,
same.
something
Yeah.
like that. So it's kind of close. But if you're looking for something a bit more cheaper as well, there is also a slightly different variant of this one where you basically bring the Plasmancer, again, alongside either a full squad of warriors or a full squad of immortals. And instead you bring the Night Scythe.
Ah, yes.
So very common. We've talked about this before, but it's very useful. So the Night Scythe, again, a lot cheaper than the other abilities that you can bring on. But basically, you can use this one as well in any detachment as well. I know we've got the Hypercrypt Legion in there, but it's probably because it's one of the better ones out there. But realistically, the Night Scythe, you can fly him around, you drop down a unit, you blast a unit, whatever it's out there, you just use all the abilities again, either the sustain or the lethals, it doesn't matter. And then once you're done at the end of the fight phase, the Night Scythe gets to pick them back up, keep them nice and safe. So it's that element of like, well, the Hypercrypt one, I could teleport them around, keep them safe, but with the Night Scythe, you're pretty much safe as it is.
Yeah, it gives you a bit more flexibility, and if you're running that in like the Awakened Dynasty, so you're getting your you can still get your re-rolls, as we said, with the right enhancement. You're getting the +1 to hit, etc.
Exactly.
There's ways to do it, absolutely.
And I don't think they're the two best ways. Like you said, that second one's a bit cheaper, and people. Again, it was very split in the comments. People were saying this one, that one, but realistically, I think both work. It just depends on how you play the game, as you say. Like if you're playing a bit more cagey, the Night Scythe might be good, or if you're looking to save points and do the same thing, Night Scythe. But if you're looking to be a bit more aggressive, you might want to go with the Luminor and such and get them in the backfield.
Yeah, I really like a Luminor in the Hypercrypt with them because of the -1 incoming AP as well, so it just keeps them alive for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Because a blob of 20 warriors, you realistically should be getting cover, because you should have some of them tucked behind a ruin.
Yeah.
So, you're getting cover and -1 incoming AP. That's basically free armor of contempt, isn't it?
It's really nice.
So it's very good. So you get that resilience. I did see a few people saying they run them with overlords for the Resorb and things like that, and I was thinking, and you get free strats, obviously, for -1 CP cost on you.
Yeah,
but for me, I think the Royal Warden is more useful there.
He is for my eyes. I think again, you start adding up the points again. I mean, an Overlord is like 80 points.
Yes,
plus Resorb. Well, Resorb's free, but any other enhancements you'd still get the rerolls because the Plasmancer gives that.
Yeah,
but
it's getting more pricey, and I just don't think. I think the lack of you need to be able to shoot is the key.
Yeah, that's it. You're bringing this unit to shoot, and if it's not shooting, you're wasting a big blob of points.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Good,
very nice. Best ways to destroy the unit.
Yeah, I mean, he's made a Weetabix, basically, isn't he? He's not.
He is.
He's not.
He's the epitome of a librarian.
Yeah.
Like he's very weak.
Yeah.
Again, his stat block isn't amazing, so anything realistically with precision will take this out. I know the Vindicar's got it. I know obviously in melee, a character can use.
Yeah, you can get the
stratagem.
the Straton. Yeah,
exactly. The only thing that has a defense against that for him is if I think you were playing the Awakened one, you can obviously resurrect them back up.
Yes, so watch out for that one. Yeah,
you do need to keep an eye on for that. But if they're not playing Awakened, then as soon as you charge them, just use precision.
Yeah,
take him out.
I mean, he's T4, 4 wounds, 4 up save, all the 4s. It's he'll go down.
He's going to go down pretty fast there. Yeah. But I think that is mainly it for the day.
Yeah, he's a great unit, despite the fact that he can be sniped out. Obviously, he's just such good value. That points value, he's an auto include for me. I'll be running. I don't run Warriors a lot. I'm running with Immortals. So I haven't really tried the other character combos. But thank you for those comments, and I'm going to look at them. What about you? What's your favourite way of running him? Are you running him with the Warriors?
I like Warriors better. I think just Warriors for me are Necrons. You think of Necrons and you think of Warriors. So I typically lean towards that, and I like the Reaper with the -1 AP. Anyways, I like getting the damage through because I feel like with the extra AP, you can realistically go against vehicles, whereas with the sustained one, you're limited to just purely blobs, infantry killers.
Yes, a lot depends on your local meta, I guess. If you've got if you're going up against, I always use this as an example, but if you're going up against 120 Orc boys, who would take 120 Orc boys? But then
you know who you are there.
You want some Tesla in there because that's gonna put in some work.
Correct. Yes.
But if you're going up against, for example, if a lot of your meta is vehicle heavy Space Marine lists, you want the ability to drop 20 warriors with the short range Gauss in there at AP with Illuminor Xeris at AP2. Thank you very much. You put a Land Raider on 4s and lethal hits on 5s. Land Raider saving on 4s. Thank you.
Scare them.
You can do some damage.
A couple of turns and that's down.
Yeah,
and you've just done a lot of points.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. We do talk about this a little bit, isn't that? In terms of like, if you're going to run that big Death Star, if you like, you've got to prioritize your targets and make sure that you get your points back.
You do,
because it doesn't matter if that dies eventually, but as long as it's killed something, done its job.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Very, very nice little unit.
Yeah, excellent. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. But yeah, if you aren't using the Plasmancer, why not? It's brilliant. Get on it. We're going to put your names on the screen now for those of you who kindly contributed. Really interesting discussions. Thank you. And please keep liking, sharing, and subscribing the channel. It's really helping us out.
Yeah.
And we will be back soon with another unit review. Thank you.
Thank you.